Jane?
Hello viewers, today we delve into a journey through time. Not literally though, as scientists unearth a prehistoric threat. Today, we're taking a look at director Mark A. Lewis's 2009 film, The Thaw. This captivating exploration takes us back to a frozen period, where there is lurking a long-forgotten parasite. The narrative intertwines a dangerous scientific discovery with the historical curiosity of human beings, as experts dissect the remains and try to understand the ancient organism's impact. Through careful research and vivid storytelling, the curtain is lifted on an obsolete world, offering a unique perspective on the interaction between ancient life forms and the modern age, revealing untold mysteries hidden in the ice. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Extinction Will Find You, The Thaw 2009. The story of the film begins in the icy environment of the Canadian Arctic on Banks Island. Dr. Dave Cruppen, portrayed by Val Kilmer, marking a shift from his usual Hollywood roles, narrates a chilling video documentary detailing the outbreak of a devastating pandemic that has claimed 400 lives and infected 10,000 people. This ominous prologue sets the stage for a tale of scientific discovery and horror. Also a fun fact, despite the film being set in the Arctic, it was exclusively shot in British Columbia, Canada. The illusion of the icy wilderness was achieved with the help of practical effects and extensive set design. The narrative then leaps back in time, focusing on Dr. Cruppen and his dedicated team of researchers, including his assistant Jane, played by Anne-Marie DeLuise. Their expedition to the Arctic begins innocently enough, as they sedate and transport a polar bear for study. However, their mission takes a startling turn when they stumble upon the frozen remains of a woolly mammoth buried within the ice. Back at their research station, David contacts his estranged daughter, Evelyn, portrayed by Martha McIsaac, and pleads with her to visit the station. Their relationship has been strained, particularly since the recent loss of their mother. Meanwhile, a group of ambitious students, Ling, Federico, and Adam, portrayed respectively by Stephen Song, Kyle Schmidt, and Aaron Ashmore, is selected to join Dr. Cruppen's research team. Also, a very weird choice of name by Adam's parents. They must have hated him. As days go by, the research team starts experiencing the effects of a mysterious illness. David, growing increasingly concerned, instructs Bart, the helicopter pilot, not to bring Evelyn to the station. However, Evelyn insists on joining them, leaving Bart with no choice but to bring her and the students. Yes, this is how the worst decisions are taken in a horror movie, by insisting on people. Tensions escalate when Jane seemingly shoots and kills David and another researcher. The students discover the body of the polar bear, and Bart is bitten by a particular bug while getting a picture taken with it. Why do people have to take pictures along with a dead body again? Also, how did those parasites survive the ice? Evelyn is awakened from her sleep in the research station by the sound of an approaching vehicle. Investigating, she discovers Jane in the helicopter having sabotaged its controls, eliminating any immediate means of escape. Also, obligatory intimate scene alert between Ling and Federico, because university students just can't keep it in their pants. Ling awakens covered in bug bites, initially suspecting it to be an STD, and Jane succumbs to the illness by choking on her vomit in Evelyn's arms. Please put them sideways when someone chokes on their vomit in real life and not be like Evelyn in the film. Granted, though, that many may not know that piece of information already. Realizing that Ling is also infected, Federico calls for a rescue helicopter. As Evelyn and Adam search for David, they make a horrifying discovery of eggs being laid in the mammoth's brain. They suspect that some unknown parasite is responsible for the group's illness. Evelyn decides to cancel the rescue helicopter and quarantine the group until a better equipped team can arrive. Federico, discovering that he too is infected, goes frenzied and destroys the radio. Bart's arm, bitten and infected, forces Adam and Evelyn to amputate it at the elbow. The group decides to destroy their research facility and wait things out in the helicopter. Ling falls victim to the relentless bugs that infiltrate the station through the ventilation system. Somehow, nobody thought of the vents. Bart, realizing the futility of this situation, chooses to stay behind with Ling. I felt really bad for the guy. He just wanted a picture and saw how it came back to bite him. They overdose on morphine, drifting into eternal sleep as the bugs swarm over them. Federico, refusing to be checked for infection, turns on Evelyn and Adam. Like every guilty person ever, just as he's about to harm Evelyn, he is shot from behind by David, who has re-emerged. David insists that they must destroy the research station to contain the threat. During this chaos, Evelyn stumbles upon a video recording made by her father, revealing his horrifying plan to intentionally infect himself and release the bugs to teach humanity a harsh lesson about the consequences of global warming. Someone please make me understand how he's supposed to be smart while making such a stupid decision. Like, he wanted humans to know the error of their ways by doing something that humanity will never even know was their fault. A rescue helicopter arrives to pick up David, but Evelyn and Adam manage to escape their confinement. The Father of the Year award goes to David, everyone! Adam desperately tries to force the helicopter to land by grabbing its skids and falls to the ground, fatally injured. Evelyn aims and shoots at the helicopter, causing it to crash into a building, drowned in gasoline. Evelyn for the win. David and the helicopter crew meet a raging end, and Evelyn holds Adam as he dies in her arms. The following day, another rescue team arrives at the scene, finding nothing but destruction, and Evelyn as the final girl. Hollywood and its horror film stereotypes can never stop. As a radio station broadcasts information based on Evelyn's reports, a chilling revelation occurs. A hunter calls his dog away from a dead bird it's been eating. Bugs emerge from the bird's remains, infected from consuming the mammoth at the beginning of the film. The final scene depicts the hunter's truck heading towards a sprawling city, hinting at the impending global catastrophe that may soon unfold. Because nature always knows how to punish those who ruin her. What is the Ancient Parasite in the movie? The Ancient Parasite at the center of the film is a terrifying and tough creature. While the movie doesn't delve into scientific specifics, it draws inspiration from real-life examples of prehistoric parasites like bacteria and viruses that have remained dormant in ice and permafrost for thousands of years. As the scientists thaw the mammoth's remains, they unwittingly release the Ancient Parasite into the environment. Initially, the consequences seem harmless, with a few of the team members experiencing mild symptoms similar to the flu. However, it soon becomes clear that this parasite is anything but gracious. It's highly adaptive and can infect both humans and animals, making it a formidable threat. What sets this ancient parasite apart from its insidious nature, it has evolved over millennia to invade the human immune system, making it incredibly difficult to detect and combat. As the parasite spreads, it begins to manipulate the behavior of its hosts, driving them to act violently and impulsively, leading to gruesome and shocking scenes of carnage. Dr. Krupin and his team must race against time to find a way to stop the parasite before it spreads beyond the Arctic and becomes a global pandemic. Their struggle to contain the parasite becomes a harrowing battle for survival, with tension escalating as trust among the team members breaks down. The ancient parasite's ability to adapt and survive in extreme conditions serves as a potent metaphor for the real-world threat of climate change. It highlights how the melting of ice and the release of long dormant pathogens could have a dire consequence for humanity if we don't take immediate action to address environmental issues. It underlines the importance of being ecologically responsible and the need to consider the long-term impacts of our actions on the natural world. Is it similar to The Thing, an extraterrestrial organism? The Thaw, 2009, and The Thing, 1982, are both gripping science fiction horror films that delve into the themes of isolation, paranoia, and the unknown. At their cores, these movies center around the arrival of parasitic organisms with the potential to inflict catastrophe on human life. While the parasite from The Thaw and the extraterrestrial organism from The Thing share some similarities, they also possess distinct characteristics that set them apart in terms of origin, behavior, and the overall sense of dread they evoke. In The Thaw, by Mark A. Lewis, a group of researchers stumble upon a woolly mammoth's corpse that is carrying the deadly parasite buried in the Arctic ice. Due to the effects of global warming, what had been dormant for millennia is now released. As the ice melts and the parasite thaws, it begins to infect both humans and animals, turning them into aggressive, mindless hosts. On the other hand, John Carpenter's The Thing presents a vastly different scenario. The story is set in Antarctica, where another group of researchers encounter an extraterrestrial organism that can assimilate and imitate other life forms perfectly. This creates an atmosphere of mistrust and paranoia, as anyone could potentially be disguised as an alien entity. Unlike the parasite in the Thaw, which primarily infects and controls its host, the extraterrestrial organism in The Thing replicates its host, making identification and containment a nightmarish challenge. One significant similarity between the two organisms lies in their potential to infect and manipulate living beings. Both parasites have a parasitic nature, albeit with different approaches. The parasite from the Thaw aims to control its hosts, driving them to aggressive behavior to spread the infection. Conversely, the extraterrestrial organism in The Thing replicates its host perfectly, effectively disguising itself while causing internal chaos. This common theme of parasitic invasion underlines the vulnerability of humanity to external threats that can manipulate and ultimately destroy it. However, where these organisms differ starkly is their origins. The parasite from the Thaw has terrestrial roots buried within the ice for thousands of years. Its release into the modern world is a direct result of human actions, global warming, and environmental exploitation. This aspect adds a layer of socio-environmental commentary to the horror, suggesting that our disregard for the planet's well-being can lead to unintended and catastrophic consequences. In contrast, the extraterrestrial organism from The Thing arrives on Earth via a crashed spaceship. Its mysterious origins introduce an element of cosmic horror, emphasizing humanity's vulnerability to forces beyond its comprehension. The very idea of an alien entity capable of perfectly imitating human forms taps into primal fears of the unknown and the uncanny, heightening the suspense and paranoia that pervade the film. Another critical distinction lies in the portrayal of infection and its consequences. In The Thaw, the parasite's effects on its hosts are more straightforward. Infected individuals become aggressive and prone to violent outbursts, reflecting the direct influence of the parasite on their behavior. The horror here stems from the loss of control over one's actions, as well as the gruesome physical transformations caused by the parasite's presence. The Thing, however, takes a subtler and more psychological approach. The infected individuals appear perfectly normal, leading to a constant state of uncertainty and mistrust among the characters. The fear isn't just about physical transformation, but about the slow erasure of trust within the group. The movie explores how paranoia could tear apart human relationships as characters struggle to determine who among them is still human and who might have been taken over by the alien entity. Marvelous verdict. While The Thaw and The Thing both revolve around parasitic organisms that threaten humanity's existence, they approach the premise in very distinct ways. The Thaw drives home a message about environmental consequences and how one needs to be more aware of it through, admittedly, with quite a few flaws. The Thing, on the other hand, plays on fears of the unknown, mistrust, and identity loss. Not to mention that it was not based on real-world events, meaning the creators got a lot more room to be creative with their scientific logic. These films remind us that the most effective horror often taps into deeper societal and psychological fears, making them not only chilling entertainment, but also thought-provoking explorations of human vulnerability. And if you like our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone.